Harry Potter à l'école des sorciers. Harry Potter at the School of Wizards. Chapitre 1. Le survivant. Chapter 1. The Survivor. Mr. et Mrs. Dursley, qui habitaient au 4 Privet Drive, Mr. and Mrs. Dursley, who lived in number 4 Privet Drive, avaient toujours affirmé avec la plus grande fierté, had always said with the greatest pride, qu'il était parfaitement normal, merci pour eux, that they were perfectly normal, thank you very much. Jamais quiconque n'aurait imaginé qu'il puisse se trouver impliqué dans c'est quoi? Sorry. Never would anyone have imagined that they could be found implicated in quoi que ce soit d'étrange ou de mystérieux, on anything strange or mysterious. Ils n'avaient pas de temps à perdre avec des sonnettes. They had no time to waste or to lose with nonsense. Mr. Dursley dirigeait le Grunnings. Mr. Dursley, he managed Grunnings, une entreprise qui fabriquait des percus drills. Mr. Dursley managed the company Grunnings, a company that made drills. C'était un homme grand et massif. He was a big and massive man, qui n'avait pratiquement pas de cou, who had almost no neck, mais possédait en revanche, but who had on the other hand, une moustache de belle taille, he had a moustache of a beautiful size. Mrs. Dursley, quant à elle, Mrs. Dursley, as for her, était mince et blonde, she was thin and blonde, et déposait une queue 2 fois plus longue que la moyenne. She had a neck twice as long as normal. Ce qui, it was, the neck they're talking about, lui, to her, était fort utile, very useful, pour espionner ses voisins en regardant par-dessus. So, espionner ses voisins, looking at the neighbors, en regardant par-dessous les clôtures des jardins, looking over the fences of the gardens. Le Dursley avait un petit garçon prénommé Dudley, et c'était à leurs yeux le plus bel enfant du monde. Le Dursley avait tout ce qu'il voulait. The Dursleys had everything that they wanted. La seule chose indésirable qu'ils possédaient, c'était un secret qu'ils craignaient plus que tout. The only thing they had that they didn't like was a secret that they feared above all. Qu'on le découvre un jour, that they feared above all that someone would discover one day. Qu'on being meaning that anyone would discover, or that someone would discover. Si jamais quiconque venait à entendu parler, si jamais quiconque, if anyone venait entendu parler, came to hear des Potters, came to hear of the Potters, il était convaincu, they were convinced, qu'ils ne se mettraient pas, that they would never get over it. Mrs. Potter était la sœur de Mrs. Dursley. Mrs. Potter was Mrs. Dursley's sister, mais tous deux ne s'étaient pas revus depuis des années, but they hadn't seen each other for years. En fait, Mrs. Dursley faisait comme, she made as if, Mrs. Dursley faisait comme si elle était fille unique. She pretended as though she was an only child, fille unique. Car, because, normally in spoken would say parce que, but anyway, in written, car, sa sœur et son bon à rien mari and her good-for-nothing husband étaient aussi éloignés, as they were as far away que possible, de tout ce qui faisait un Dursley, as far away as what makes a Dursley. Le Dursley tremblait d'épouvante à la pensée de ce que dirait le voisin. They trembled with fear at the thought of what the neighbors would say if, by misfortune, si par le malheur le Potter se montait dans la rue, if the Potters showed up or appeared or climbed, is montré, dans la rue. Ils savaient que le Potter aussi avait un petit garçon. They knew that the Potters, aussi, them as well, avaient un petit garçon, mais ils ne l'avaient jamais vu. Ils ne l'avaient jamais vu. They had never seen him. Son existence constituait une raison supplémentaire de tenir le pote à distance. Il n'était pas question que le petit Dudley, there was no question that little Dudley, que le petit Dudley, se mettait à fréquenter un enfant comme celui-là. There was no chance, or there was out of the question, that Dudley would play with or spend time with or frequent a child such as that boy there or that one there. As a child like that. Okay. Lorsque Monsieur, I will sometimes say Monsieur and Madame, but they do actually write Mr. and Mrs. Lorsque Monsieur et Madame Dursley se réveillaient au matin du mardi où commençait cette histoire, when they woke up on the morning of the Tuesday where this story commences, il faisait gris et triste et rien dans le ciel nuageux ne laissait prévoir que des choses étranges et mystérieuses allaient bientôt se produire dans tout le pays. So it was grey and sad, and nothing in the cloudy sky would leave them to predict that strange and mysterious things were going to soon produce or happen across the country, dans tout le pays. Mr. Dursley fredonnait, he hummed, une air, nouant sa cravate, tying his tie, la plus sinistre, I guess it's his ugliest tie, pour aller travailler, to go to work, and Mrs. Dursley racontait d'un ton badin le dernier poiton du quartier, I think it was like the latest gossip, en se forçant de stoler sur sa chaise bébé, while trying to put into his baby chair le jeune Dudley, qui brillait de toute sa force de ses poumons. So, who was yelling with the force of his lungs. Aucun d'eux ne remarquait le gros hibou. Neither of them remarked on the big or the fat owl, au plumage modéré. I think that's like golden. Sorry, I'm just the tawny owl. There you go. I would never have got that. Qui voleta devant la fenêtre, that flew in front of the window. À 8h30, so 8:30, Mr. Dursley prit son attaché-casse, he took his briefcase, a déposé un baiser sur le jus de Mrs. Dursley et essayait d'embrasser Dudley. He placed a kiss on the cheek of Mrs. Dursley, and he tried to hug Dudley, mais sans succès, without any success. Car celui-ci, because that guy, that one, était en proie d'une petite crise de colère, because he was in a little bout of anger, et s'appliquait à jeter contre le mur la pièce de le contenu de son assiette de céréales. And he was trying to throw against the walls a piece of the contents of his plate of cereal, or something like that. Sacré petit bonhomme, gloussua Mr. Dursley on quittait la maison. I think he says like cute little tyke. Oh, there you go, something little tyke. Chortled Mr. Dursley. So gloussa, I guess is chortle. Anyway, il monta dans son voiture et recula le long de l'allée qui menait à sa maison. He got in his car and he drove down the driveway. Okay. Ce fut au coin de la rue qu'il remarquait pour la première fois une détail insolite. It was at the end. It was on the corner of the street that he's, for the first time, remarked on a concerning detail. Something was peculiar. Un chat qui lisait une carte routière. A cat that was reading a street sign or a street map. Okay. Pendant un instant, Monsieur Dursley ne comprit très bien que ce qu'il venait de voir. So Mr. Dursley didn't understand very well what il venait de voir. Il tournait alors la tête pour regarder une deuxième fois. So he turned his head to look a second time. Il y avait un chat tigré. There was a tabby cat or a tigered cat assis au coin de Privet Drive. There was a cat sitting on the corner of Privet Drive, mais pas la moindre trace de pas la trace de quatre routiers. Qu'est-ce que c'est qu'il avait bien pu lui passer par la tête? I could try that again. We'll see how we go. Qu'est-ce que c'est qu'il avait bien pu lui passer par la tête? So, what could have to him passed in his head? So, what could he have been thinking? Il avait dû se laisser abuser par un reflet de soleil. He must have been affected by the reflect of some light sur le trottoir. So he must have been affected by the light reflecting off the footpath. It must have been a trick of the light. They don't talk about the trottoir in the English version. Mr. Dursley cligna des yeux et regarda fixement le chat. Celui-ci soutenait son regard, tandis qu'il tournait le coin de la rue, s'éloignait sur la route. Mr. Dursley continua d'observer le chat dans son rétroviseur. Okay, so he blinked his eyes and looked clearly at the cat, and this one returned his glaze while he turned the corner, and he went down the road. Mr. Dursley continued to observe the cat in his rearview mirror. L'animal était en train de lire un plaque qui indiquait Privet Drive. The cat was trying, or was in the middle of, reading a sign that indicated, that said, or read, we'd say, Privet Drive. Mais non, voyons, il ne lisait pas, il regardait la plaque. No, he wasn't reading, he was looking at the sign. Les chats sont incapables de lire la carte ou de l'écriture. Cats can't read maps or paper, carte, or sign, or any writing. Mr. Dursley se ressaisit et chassait le chat tigré de son esprit. He cleared the cat from his thoughts. Durant le trajet, il menait vers la ville et il concentrait sur la pensée sur la grosse commande de Pocus. Il espérait obtenir ces jours-là. So, on his drive, as he went towards the city, he concentrated on his thoughts on the big order of drills that he hoped to obtain on that day, ces jours-là. Mais lorsqu'il parvint au bord de la ville, quelque chose d'autre chassait le Pocus de sa tête. I wish I'd looked up how to pronounce that, but we're moving on. So while he reached the edges of the city, something else came to his head. Aussi, au milieu des habituels embouteillages du matin, sitting amongst the regular traffic jams of the morning, il fut bien forcé de remarquer la présence de plusieurs passants vêtus. He was forced to remark on the presence of several people passing by dressed d'une étrange façon, in a strange fashion. Ils portaient des capes. They were wearing robes. Mr. Dursley ne supportait pas les gens qui s'habillaient d'une manière extravagante. He didn't like people who dressed strangely or extravagantly. Les gens avaient parfois de ces accoutrements. Sometimes young people dress like that. Il pensait qu'il s'agissait d'un nouveau mot particulièrement stupide. He thought maybe there must have been a new and particularly stupid fashion. Il pianota sur la volante de sa voiture en regardant. So he tapped on the steering wheel of his car en regardant, et son regard rencontra un groupe de ses oliburi. I think that's like riffraff. drummed on the steering wheel and he looked at a huddle of these weirdos. Yeah. Qui chuchotait. I have to say this word slowly. Chuchotait des choses à l'oreille d'une air surexcité. So they were whispering in the ears, each other's ears very excitedly. Mr. Dursley s'arrêta en voyant que deux entre eux n'étaient pas jeunes du tout. He was very irritated to see that they were not young at all. Cet homme là-bas était sûrement plus âgé que lui. That guy over there was clearly older than him. Ce qui ne le empêchait pas de porter un cap vert émeraude. Why wasn't that stopping him from dressing in a green cape? Quelle imprudence! What imprudence? I don't know what that would translate to in English. What nerve? There we go. But then it struck. Monsieur Dursley pensa alors qu'il devait y avoir une animation de rue. Then it occurred to him there must be some sort of street act or performance of that. Ces gens étaient probablement là pour collecter de l'argent au profit d'une œuvre quiconque. They must have been raising money for some sort of work. Ce ne pouvait être que ça. La file de voitures se remit et mouvement de quelques minutes plus tard. Monsieur Dursley se rangeait dans le parking de la Granine et le Pecus avait repris le place dans son passé. Okay, so it must have only been that. They were collecting money for something. That must be it. The line of cars started to move again. A few minutes later, Mr. Dursley he arrived in the parking lot of the Grunnings, and the drills had taken their place in his thoughts. Dans son bureau de 8e étage, in his building on the 8th floor, Mr. Dursley s'asseyait toujours dos à la fenêtre. He always sat with his back to the window. S'il en avait été autrement, if it had been otherwise, il aurait sans doute eu un peu plus mal qu'habitude à se concentrer sur ce Pecus. It would have been harder for him to have concentrated on his drills. Ce matin-là, on that morning, il ne vit pas les hiboux qui volaient à tille-l'aile en plein jour. He would have seen the owls that were flying at full wing in the middle of the day. There must be some other swooping past in broad daylight. So there you go, tille-d'aile. Mais en bas, dans la rue, les passants, eux, le voyaient bel et bien. But the people passing the street, they saw them. Les passants, eux, the passers-by, they're talking about the owls, they saw them, so the them comes back here. So les passants, eux, les voyaient bel et bien. So the les is the owls, it's the them that we would have at the end of the sentence in English. Bouche bée, open mouth or gobsmacked or something like that. Ils pointaient le doigt vers le ciel. They pointed their fingers in the sky, tandis que leur passe filait au-dessus de la tête. While there's something, while they sped overhead, la plupart d'entre eux n'avaient jamais vu d'hibou même la nuit. Most of them had never seen an owl, even at night. Monsieur Dursley, cependant, Mr. Dursley, cependant, on the other hand, ne remarquait rien d'abnormal. He didn't notice anything abnormal. Et aucune, and no owl, aucun hibou, ne vint troubler son matinée. No owl troubled his morning. Il réprimanda vertement une demi-douzaine de ses employés. He reprimanded greenly, severely, a half a dozen of his employees. He passa plusieurs coups de fil. He gave several punches of the wire or phone calls importantes et poussa quelques hurlements supplémentaires. And he gave he yelled several other times. Il se sentit d'excellente humeur jusqu'à l'heure de déjeuner où il songea il serait bien de se dégourdir un peu les jambes. He was very happy until lunch, or the hour of lunch, where he thought it would be good to go and stretch his legs a little bit. Il traversa alors la rue pour s'acheter quelque chose à manger chez la boulangerie en face. Chez le boulanger en face. Okay, so he crossed the road to buy, s'acheter for himself, s'acheter quelque chose à manger, something to eat, chez le boulanger, at the establishment or at the business of the baker, en face, opposite. La passante, vêtue de cap, lui était complètement sortie de la tête. The people wearing the robes had completely left his head. Mais lorsqu'il vit un nouvel mais lorsqu'il en vit, but when he of them saw a new one, so the one is one of them is all encapsulated in that word en. Mais lorsqu'il en vit un nouveau quelqu'un à proximité de la boulangerie, il passa devant eux en les lançant, while shooting them, un regard caressé, a very stern or grumpy look. He eyed them angrily. There you go. Il ignorait pourquoi, mais il les mettait mal à l'aise. He didn't know why, but they put him ill at ease. Ceux-là aussi chuchotaient d'une air sous-excité, et on ne vit pas la moindre boîte destinée à récolter de l'argent. And they was whispering in each other's ears, and he couldn't see amongst them the least can for collecting the money. Quand il sortait de la boutique avec un gros panier, when he left with a big donut enveloppé dans un sac, il attendit quelques mots de leur conversation. Les potters, c'est ça? C'est ce que j'ai entendu dire. The Potters, that was it. That's what I heard said. Oui, le fils, Harry, and their son, Harry. Mr. Dursley se mobilisa, envahi par un peu soudain. He was overcome with a sudden fear. Il tourna la tête vers les gens qui chuchotaient comme il s'apprêtait à leur dire quelque chose, mais il se ravisa. So, he looked back at the whispered and as if he wanted to say something to them, but he thought better of it. Okay, ravisa, he thought better of it. Il traversait la maison toute hâte. He went back in full haste. Se dépêcha de remonter dans son bureau, ordonna d'un ton sec à sa secrétaire de ne pas le déranger. Saisit son téléphone et avait presque fini de composer le numéro de sa maison lorsqu'il changeait d'avis. He told his secretary not to bother him, and then he took his phone and he just finished typing in or dialing, I guess is the word we say in English, the number of his house, when suddenly he changed his mind. Il reposait le combiné et se caressait la moustache. He put down the handset and he stroked his moustache. Il réfléchissait. Non, décidément. No, it's decided. Il était idiot. No, he was being stupid. Potter était un nom pas si rare. No, Harry wasn't a very uncommon name. Il pouvait être sûr qu'un grand nombre de Potter avaient un fils prénommé Harry. There must be plenty of people named Potter who had a son named Harry. Et quand il repensait, il n'était même pas certain que son neveu se prénommait véritablement Harry, and he wasn't even sure that his nephew was actually named, was named truly Harry. Il n'avait même jamais vu cet enfant. Après tout, il s'est appelé peut-être Avi. Maybe he was called Harvey or Harold. Il n'était inutile d'inquiéter. It was useless d'inquiéter, to worry Mrs. Dursley pour si peu. It was useless to worry for so little. Toute allusion à sa sœur la menait dans tel état. Any mention of her sister put her in such a state. Et il ne pouvait pas lui en vouloir. He didn't blame her if he had a sister like that. Et il ne pouvait pas lui en vouloir. Si lui-même avait une sœur comme celle-là, mais enfin, quand même, tous ces gens vêtus de capes. But even though all these people dressed in capes. Cet après-midi-là, il lui fut beaucoup plus difficile de concentrer sur ses pécus. Et lorsqu'il quittait le bureau à 5 heures, il était encore si préoccupé qu'il heurtait quelqu'un devant la porte. After that, this afternoon, or on that afternoon, it to him was much more difficult to concentrate himself, se concentrer, on his drills, and when he left the office at 5 o'clock, he was still preoccupied, and he was still so preoccupied that he bumped into someone in front of the port. Navré, grommela-t-il. Sorry, he grumbled. Au vieil homme minuscule qui avait manqué de faire tomber, that he'd failed or just missed out on knocking over. He walked straight into someone in front of the door. Sorry, he said, it being almost knocked onto the floor. On the contrary, il se passait quelques secondes avant que M. Dursley se rende compte que l'homme. So that looks like they've cut out that sentence altogether. Quite the contrary. On the contrary, anyway, it'll come back. Okay. Il se passe quelques secondes avant que M. Dursley se rende compte que l'homme portait une cape violette, that the man was wearing a purple robe. Il fait d'avoir été ainsi bousculé ne semblait pas affecter son humeur. It seemed as though almost being knocked over hadn't affected his good humor. Au contraire, there we go. Son visage se fondit en large sourire tandis qu'il répondait d'une petite voix. While he said, he had a big smile, while he said in a very little voice, a very little and squeaky voice, perçante, qui lui attirait le regard de passante. Ne soyez pas navré, mon cher monsieur. Rien aujourd'hui ne saurait me mettre en colère. Réjouissez-vous, puisque vous savez qui est enfin disparu. Même le bon Dieu, comme vous, devrait fêter cet heureux, très heureux jour. Okay. Don't be bothered, my dear sir. Nothing today would be able to to make me unhappy. Rejoice, because you know who is finally disappeared. Even the muggles, comme vous, like you, should be, or fêter should celebrate this happy, very happy day. Le vieil homme prit alors M. Dursley par la taille et le serra contre lui avant de poursuivre son chemin. The old man took Mr. Dursley by the waist and hugged him contre lui, or shook him, serra, against him. I'm going to say hugged him, avant poursuivre, before continuing his route. Monsieur Dursley resta cloué sur place. Quelqu'un qu'il n'avait jamais vu venait de lui prendre dans ses bras. Someone who he'd never met had just taken him in his arms. Il l'avait appelé, and to him had called Moldu, called him a muggle, ce qui n'avait aucun sens, something that didn't make any sense. Il en était tout retourné et se dépêcha de remontrer dans sa voiture. Il prit alors le chemin de sa maison en espérant qu'il avait été victime de son imagination. So he got back in his car and he went on his road just imagining it all being part of his imagination. C'était bien la première fois qu'il espérait une chose pareille, and it was the first time he'd ever thought such a thing, car il détestait tout ce qu'il avait trait d'imagination, trait à l'imagination, because he hated anything that had anything to do with imagination. Lorsqu'il s'engagea dans l'allée du numéro 4 de sa rue, when he got into the alley of number 4 of his street, la première chose qu'il vit est qu'il n'aimerait pas son humeur. What he saw did not improve his humor. Ce fut le chat tigré qu'il avait déjà remarqué le matin même. It was the same tabby cat that he had remarked on earlier that same morning. À présent, l'animal était assis sur le mur de son jardin. The cat was sitting on the wall of his garden. Il était sûr qu'il s'agissait bien le même chat. He was sure that it was indeed the same cat. Il reconnaissait le dessin de son pelage autour des yeux. He recognized the markings around the eyes. Allez, oust! Exclama Monsieur Dursley. Hey, go, scram! Le chat ne bougeait pas. The cat didn't move. Il se contenta de le regarder d'un air sévère. Monsieur Dursley se demandait si c'était un comportement normal pour un chat. Essayant de répondre contenance, il entra dans sa maison, toujours décidé de ne rien révéler à sa femme. The cat didn't move and returned him with a severe look. Mr. Dursley asked himself if it was normal this was normal for a cat. Trying to regain his composure, he entered in the house and he decided that he wasn't going to say anything to his wife. There we go. Okay. Mrs. Dursley avait passé une journée agréable et parfaitement normale. Au jour de dîner, elle lui racontait le problème que la voisine à la côté avait avec sa fille, et lui signa également que Dudley avait appris un nouveau mot. Sorry, un nouveau mot? Yeah. Un veut pas. That's an odd phrase, but okay. So Mrs. Dursley had spent an agreeable day, very normal. Over dinner, elle lui raconta, she to him accounted tout le problème que le voisin d'à côté avait avec sa fille, that the neighbors were having with their daughter. Elle lui signala également que Dudley avait appris un nouveau mot. And she also told him that Dudley had learned a new word, don't want, veut pas. Mr. Dursley s'efforçait de se conduire le plus normal du monde et apprit que Dudley où était Mioli. So Mr. Dursley said that Dudley better be put to bed. Et installa dans le soleil pour regarder la fin du journal télévisé. And he caught the end of the television news.